after salvation. 2 days after I completely, and for real, gave my life to Jesus, and it worked, because Jesus did it, I was cleared of all charges in court for my battery on the police officer. That was really cool how Jesus set me free to himself, holiness and love, and now I was free of an earthly hurdle. I was working at Pizza Hut at the time and I began to talk to everyone about Jesus. I was a dishwasher in the back, so it was mainly the employees. I told them to give everything and themselves to Jesus. I had witnessed in the past before being saved, but this was different. I was on fire with an unquenchable fire, Jesus. When anyone at work or anywhere would ask how I was doing, I would say, great, because of Jesus. Because if you have Jesus, you are in good hands regardless of anything. After a while of telling people to give all to Jesus, I began to wonder if I was saying Works Righteousness, a True Christian, by Joseph Zeiss, instead of just believing in Jesus. I remember helping a co-worker move to an apartment. He said he was a Christian and worried about his girlfriend going to hell because she was another religion. They were living together, so I witnessed to her. Then I told him he should be worried about hell because he was also going there also, because sexual sin of any kind results in hell. I was still unsure if what I had said was true but thought it was correct. Can you just believe in Jesus and not give all, and not live right the rest of your life? So for a while I really struggled with this because from preachers' sermons and Christians' lives, it seemed believing had nothing to do with actions and lives. So I began to back off telling people to surrender all, but I persistently said, just about every time a co-worker left work, Jesus is the way. I wasn't sure about one thing, but I knew they needed Jesus. I was definitely positive that I was saved and that something radical had happened and that I gave all. So I kept praying about it. I said, God, I prayed for salvation for years and you gave it to A True Christian, by Joseph Zeiss. Me, and that is the main thing, but how am I supposed to do something so important, the reason why I exist, if I don't know how to explain salvation? Finally, after a while driving, you wouldn't believe what I heard. The gospel according to Jesus on the radio, and I was reminded of what I did, and that is the only way to be saved. I am so thankful Jesus showed me that, because I have been confident since then. Plus, I also heard, a very rare couple of times, a Christian say that you have to give your life to Jesus. Salvation is complete surrender, and Jesus will keep you practically, every day holy. Also, some people may look at it as a second level and not salvation. I say, just give all to Jesus regardless of how you look at it, and you will get something you will never forget, all of Jesus in you. I say look at it as both and do it. But I do think it is important to stress, if you're not all in, you are lukewarm, and as Jesus said, you will go to hell. As I have said, I am trying to show the truth in love. Be a Berean and search scriptures daily to see if it is A True Christian, by Joseph Zeiss. True, if it isn't, throw it out. Even if there is a chance of it being true, look at it. You don't want to, and won't be able to search for truth on the day of judgment. Think about it. You absolutely refuse to give all to Jesus. You're sinning, lukewarm, not being born again like Jesus said. That sounds like a very dangerous place to be. An atheist said that if he believed in hell, he would walk across the country bleeding, on his knees, over broken glass to convince one person. I write this book in love. Make sure the reason you disagree is truth, not just what you believe or have been taught. Muslims believe very strongly, and would be just as angry. I would have been angry with my own book, and self, before I was saved. Anyways, love you! My whole life my thinking had been great and normal with the exception of about 6 months or so when I wondered if certain people were angels and hit a cop. My extreme worry over my salvation, A True Christian, by Joseph Zeiss, was of God, helping me to see my need for Him in me and for me to draw near to Him. My thinking cleared up again shortly after medication, but I questioned if that was the whole part or none of the reason why. So after figuring out that it is surrender, I began to feel bad on the meds after a year or so at Pizza Hut. Plus, I was getting sick of not having much work and doing the job itself, so I left there and continued on with my classes at the community college. Toward business. The police academy.